Welcome back, my students, to a brand new episode of Comic Class. In today's lesson, as we overlooking a versus battle of Darth Vader from his 2015 to 2016 comic book series versus Obito Uchiha from the Naruto franchise. And yeah, before we jump into the battle, guys, I want to say that if you want to support the channel, it helps me make videos faster. You can donate to the Cash App down below. The link will be there in the description. And yeah, before we jump into going over their strength, their speed, their tech, and their durability, as we always do in our versus battle series, I wanted to mention that the Obito Uchiha we're going to be overlooking is Obito before he became the Tento's Jinchuriki. So this is maskless Obito. Now we will be going over some of his feats that he has done throughout his time in the Naruto franchise. But we won't be going over Tintel's Jinchuriki Obito because that the video will be way too long going over all the scaling for that. So we're only going to be doing up to when he became the Tintel's Jinchuriki. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's jump right into today's versus battle. And the first thing we're going to look at is their strength. Now, when looking at strength, we're first going to start off with Darth Vader. Now, Darth Vader, in his cybernetic suit, and even Jedi's in general, usually have enhanced superhuman strength. Um, Darth Vader himself doesn't have a lot of like lifting feats and stuff like that we can really judge his base hand-to-hand combat at. But with his lightsaber, he's able to cut through almost anything, or if anything, basically. Be it things that are made out of steels like robots, just flat out like steel surfaces he's able to cut out pretty easily as well. He's also able to use his force ability to basically move this gigantic thing of machinery basically with pretty much ease, not even really trying. He's also able to fight cybernetically enhanced humans, I believe. I think they were humans or androids that he was fighting. Maybe they were just full on cybernetic robots, but he was able to fight these Jedi cybernetic beings basically and was able to outmaneuver and defeat both of them basically at the same time. As well as just overall like outplaying them and outthinking them. And yeah, that's pretty impressive. He's also able to use the Force to basically destroy things made out of metal and steel, able to basically take down an aircraft with just the Force alone. And yeah, he's so pretty much his strength levels are pretty crazy when he has his lightsaber and his Force abilities. Enough are with those two things are able to put him pretty high in a tier list when it comes to full on strength or flat out strength feats. And yeah, like I said, as far as his hand to hand combat goes, we wouldn't really know because there isn't really anything to go off of in this run of Comets. And as I said, we're looking over his 2015 to 2016 run of series comic run. And there was really no lifting feats or stuff like that with regards to his own body. But in the case of Darth Vader, he never really would ever resort to that because he has the Force at all times, as well as being very good at using his lightsaber, as well as using the lightsaber with the Force if it's not in his hand. So yeah, there's really not going to be a situation where he's not going to have one of these two options available. So his lifting strength or base strength with just his body isn't very important, but we should note that Jedi's themselves usually have superhuman strength, so we'll just leave it at that. Now, when it comes to Obito and his strength levels, basically, we can really put Obito, before he becomes the Tento Jinchuriki, we can put him at about, I would say, the third tier list in the Naruto franchise. Considering that I would say people like Raikage and Tsunade are probably physically stronger than him, and we're mainly talking about their physical abilities, at the moment. So I would say that Obito would be in the third tier list because there are characters like Madara when he got resurrected. He was able to basically hit tail beasts basically and knock them out or knock them to the ground with single hits. Now Madara used his limbo clones to do some of that damage, or I think he used like one limbo clone to do that feat. But it was stated that his limbos have the same physical capabilities as he does, I believe. I'm not sure if they have the same capabilities in everything they do, but as far as physical goes, they're supposed to be 1-to-1 with Madara. So Madara should be above Obito because Obito never showcased, that type of level of strength. And I don't think even Tsunade or Raikage would be able to take Tobi's like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they could. But we definitely saw Madara do it, and I would put, feats that we do know 100% over stuff that we would have to, speculate about. So I would say Madara is on the top of that tier list in physical capability with Sits past Naruto and Kaguya, 100% being the only ones that could probably contend for, that top slot. When we're talking about physical strength, and they would probably be in the S tier, the top of the verse, the first tier list of physical strength in Naruto. So I would say that Obito is below Tsunade and Raikage, who I would put in the second tier list, and I would put them people like Obito and Kakashi and my guy, people like that in the third tier list. With the exception of my guy, using the AK, he would definitely be up there in the top tier, in tier one, basically tier list one. And yeah, that's mainly it to do with Obito's strength levels. So now we're going to jump into the next category, which should be pretty interesting, which is going to be speed. Now, when we're looking at speed for Darth Vader, his 2015 to 2016 run, Darth Vader has a good amount of speed feats. He's able to fight different Jedi's, basically cybernetically enhanced Jedi type fighters that use things like flamethrowers and stuff like that. He's able to use the force pretty easily to basically just redirect it and block it, kind of like make a force field. He's able to fight their light speed attacks, with their lightsabers, and able to, endure in combat with them pretty easily. He's also able to take multiple laser fire from all these drones that one of the cybernetically enhanced people were using. And, the fact that they completely surrounded him with these drones, they're all shooting lasers in every direction basically possible, shows the speed that Darth Vader has, and that this would be at most, or at base, basically multiple times faster than light, because he's literally having to dodge all these light attacks simultaneously. So he would have to be moving faster than light to be able to perform this type of feat. Even if you say that he's using the Force to perform this feat, he would still be able to use it in a battle. So his speed and battle speed is ridiculous. He's also fought giant creatures and able to easily just move them with the force and basically kill this guy that was, the master of the beast, and basically have his beast basically eat him alive, and then kills the beast by, stabbing him through the head almost instantly once he has him do what he needs him to do to the guy that was trying to kill Darth Vader, basically. So stuff like the tail beast, even if we were to give Obito the tail beast, like he had in his white mask state, it wouldn't matter because Darth Vader would easily be able to just use the Force to basically, just deal with them, kind of like how Madara's Limbo clones did. When it comes to light, like I said, he's able to constantly redirect or dodge these light speed attacks. These laser blasters, basically, pretty consistently. He was also at a point, basically held at blaster point, right behind his back, and the queen wasn't going to hesitate, her princess wasn't going to hesitate to shoot Darth Vader. He instantly just reacted and just took off her hand that was holding the blaster, showing that he does have some type of precognition to know that when he's in danger, kind of like Spider-Man Spider Sense. Um, when he had a rematch with the girl that used the drones, he basically was able to redirect one of the drones to get it to fire on her. So even in a situation where he's having to react, like I said, multiple times faster than light to interact and parry all these lasers in all these different directions, he was still able to use some strategy with the Force to basically get the girl to basically be attacked by her own drones. So, um, as far as his battle speed goes, he's constantly in his reaction and battle speed shown to be multiple times faster than light. And that's basically it for Darth Vader in his speed. Going to Obito, Obito's speed is very interesting because there's different ways you can look at it. Um, Obito's speed in general is dictated by how fast you think Minato is as a character, and many people have different interpretations of Minato's speed. Me personally, I do believe that Minato is faster 100% than the Raikage, but the Raikage is faster than lightning. Lightning itself, I believe, is supposed to be like 7 times slower than light. So the fact that Minato is faster than the Raikage, who is faster than the lightning, could very well still be below light speed, or he could be light speed. So it's very debatable on where Minato lands in the speed category. But and this is important because Obito consistently during his fight with Minato, whenever Obito was a kid, and this could be, you can state that maybe Obito got faster. That's very possible since he was a kid and he's definitely way older. When we see him in the War Arc and the rest of the series, but it was a fact that during their fight, he was consistently getting tagged by Minato, and he never really tagged Minato himself. So that doesn't look good for Obito from a speed standpoint. Like I said, there's different ways you can look at it. In that you can argue that Obito got faster, but nothing in the work implies that he's faster than Minato, even in the work. So I would say that, like I said, depending on where you want to put Minato, which I would not put him at light speed, I would put him probably near it. Because even Naruto and Sasuke during once they got the six past powers, I don't think that they hit the light speed percentage. Basically, I think that they're near it, but I don't think they're there. As far as Naruto, dodging the light fiend, that's a reaction. That's not really battle speed. That's a reaction speed, and it's not travel speed either. So overall, I think that it's possible that they can react to light, but it might not be a consistent reaction speed. If it were in the case of like what Darth Vader had, where he's having to literally deal with multiple light speed attacks in simultaneously. Basically, I don't think that would happen with Naruto characters, at least in the Naruto series. Now, if we're talking about Boruto, that might be completely different. But as far as Obito goes, I don't think he hits those speeds, or I don't think Minato even hits those speeds, because I don't think anyone in Naruto hits light speed. But let me know down below what you think on that and how you scale that. But looking at Obito, Obito wasn't even able to tag Naruto in his Kyuubi mode, I believe, or his Biju mode, whichever one is on panel here. Naruto's able to react to it, and yes, Naruto has some type of a precog, so he could have dodged it before Obito attacked, but it still doesn't look good for Obito. So Obito, like I said, should be near light speed. I would say that they're probably like maybe 3 times, 4 times slower than light speed, as they definitely are faster than lightning in the war arc. And Obito is one of the faster characters, along with Kakashi. And Naruto and Sasuke definitely go above that when they get six past powers, as well as Obito does jump in speed when he becomes Tento's Jinchuriki, but we're not talking about that version in this versus battle. So overall, I would put Obito maybe 4 times slower than Light, but that's just my opinion on it. And yeah, that's basically it for speed. Now going into the next category, we're gonna go over their tech. And yeah, Darth Vader has pretty basic things that most people know about. He's able, like I said, able to dodge and parry blaster fire, which should calculate to light speed pretty easily. This is shown so many times in the run that it shouldn't be debated if he could do this consistently, because he definitely does do it throughout the run multiple times. He's also able to use the force choke, which I don't think would end the match, and Obito being able to conway himself would be able to get away from the force choke by simply just, phasing his throat, or, just, sending himself into the Conway dimension and then coming back out. I don't think the force choke would follow him into a whole other dimension, at least by what I know, by reading this series. It doesn't seem like that would actually happen. Um, we have things like Darth Vader being able to figure out Obito's ability, and I think that's one thing about Obito that people use in versus battles is that he's very dangerous. That if he catches you, he can Conway you, and then you have no way to get out of the Conway dimension. But and this is useful, but in the case of Darth Vader, he's shown multiple times throughout this run that he was able to simply just touch something, or even just look at a person and feel their thoughts or something like that, and was able to figure out very small details that would be impossible to figure out. So stuff like Obito's abilities would definitely be found out by Vader pretty easily. When once they start fighting, or even before they even start fighting at all, you would already know how Obito's abilities work, and it would come down to if Obito could land those abilities on Darth Vader. And yeah, so Darth Vader can use the Force basically to block different types of physical attacks. This is shown multiple times. He has boots that basically can lock him onto the ground, like on some magnetic force, type stuff. So that's pretty cool. He's talented enough to fight people that are kind of like Jedi's, that are using, like I said, in order to wield a lightsaber. Usually, you have to be able to move fast enough to be able to engage in combat with a lightsaber, and Jedi's, like Padawans, are learning how to consistently parry or dodge blaster fire, which would be light speed. So even the lowest people in the Star Wars universe, as far as battle speed, have to be able to fight near that level at least, or getting to that level. So considering that these aren't actual Jedi, they shouldn't be at the highest level, but they are cybernetically enhanced, or they're robots or something like that. So they should be up there. So you know, Darth Vader is basically able to fight people that are using light speed attacks, basically. Like I said, he has different things that he can do. He can use the Force basically to redirect attacks. That's been shown in the series. He can block, rubble or any type of thing that tries to crush him. You just move it out of the way, stuff like that. So stuff like that wouldn't work. Probably my favorite ability that he has is that he can utilize the Force with his lightsaber to basically. He used it to basically take down uh, plane, basically like a jet that was trying to escape the planet that he was on, and basically trying to escape him, I believe, or something. And yeah, and the lightsaber itself. This needs to be said during their tech. The lightsaber basically cuts through anything that's organic or physical. There's very few things that it will not cut through in the Star Wars universe. So it's safe to say that if this comes into contact with most things, it's going to cut through it, which is very dangerous in a versus battle. And yeah, and that's basically it, I think, for Darth Vader. Like I said, it's very basic. He can basically just use the Force, which is like telekinetic powers, basically, in a way you can look at it. And he's able to do stuff with it by basically, there's a part that he's even able to like self detonate, I think, some grenades that some soldiers were holding onto themselves. So stuff like that can be very dangerous if you're holding weapons that can explode. He can be able to activate it with the Force, so that's pretty cool. And he's also able to, like I said, fight people that used multiple lightsabers. He fought a guy that used multiple lightsabers, so multiple lightspeed attacks, happening pretty instantly, and was able to outmaneuver and defeat him by out tricking him, basically, which was really cool. And he was also able to take control of a ship from the ship's pilot or creator, and was able to get it to take itself into the sun, and it flew itself into the sun and destroyed this dude and killed him and stuff like that. So it's ridiculous. And like I said, even when it comes to like the Jinchuriki, well, the Bijou, the fact that the lightsaber can cut, and it's been shown to cut through giant animals, like ridiculously sized animals, and that Vader's able to throw his lightsaber, not even having to get close to the beast, but mainly just throwing it and using the Force to hit where he wants to hit the target, could easily just kill the Bijou. If his lightsaber makes contact, he's killing them. And the Bijou have been shown to be able to be killed, so it's not like they're unkillable. So yeah, it's not looking good for Obito. But going over Obito's tech, as an Uchiha, Obito has many abilities that all of them share, such as Genjutsu. Genjutsu is interesting, and it does work on a lot of people. But for someone in the Star Wars universe, it really doesn't work. And this is because the Jedi or the Sith, both of them, are trained to basically have good mental strength, And even though Anakin has a lot of mental problems throughout when he was younger, and even as he starts Vader, Darth Vader does have defenses against stuff like genjutsu and illusions and stuff like that. He's really able to just break through that, and that was shown during this run as well. When stuff was coming into his mind, he was able to just overpower it and become Darth Vader again, and then was able to kill. I think his name was Silo or something at the very end of the final book of this run. So stuff like Injutsu's not gonna work. As far as Conway goes, Conway is interesting. We'll wait on that. We'll talk about that one last. He has the ability to use his Conway to basically bring out weapons that he stores, I guess, in the Conway dimension. It's kind of hard. It's never really explained. But he uses like giant shurikens sometimes, so that's pretty cool. He has fire jutsu. That shouldn't be useful because he could just, Darth Vader could just use a force to redirect it somewhere else. So stuff like that's not gonna work. Jutsus aren't gonna work that well. At least the giant, elemental jutsus, they're not gonna work. It would have to be something more unique, like Shikamaru's like shadow paralysis jutsu, stuff like that. And as far as even like the giant shurikens and that Obito uses, I think it's QB Chakra Cloak Nards is able to just use his chakra tails to basically just knock them away. So it shouldn't be hard for Vader to just use the Force and get them away. It should be pretty simple. Now going into Conway, which is the most important ability that Obito has, Conway has massive strengths, but also has massive weaknesses, which is not good in this case against someone like Darth Vader. Now, Conway's massive advantage is that if you get caught and you don't have a way to kind of like split space time or time space, you basically are trapped and you lost the battle. That's the biggest advantage it has, and it is a little fast. Depending on how fast your character is, they should be able to get out of it. As Minato was able to teleport out of there while he was getting, sucked in to the Conway dimension. Now, a very important thing that we need to look at, and this is when I decided that I think that Darth Vader would win this battle, is that when Conway is activated, in the type, not the one that lets you phase through, but the type that tries to suck your opponent in, you actually become solid. And when the enemy becomes solid, when Toby becomes solid, or Obito becomes solid, you can attack him. And when you're looking at Darth Vader's lightsaber, and this is if Darth Vader has his lightsaber, this is if his lightsaber's on the ground, he uses the Force to bring it towards Obito for an attack. The fact that Obito almost died, and we have to remember this. He almost died to Conan when he started absorbing her paper bombs. He also got outblitzed by Minato, who is very fast as well. That's no diss on Minato, but as far as Darth Vader goes, the fact that he was able to his battle speed can reach levels such as massively faster than light, or multiple times faster than light, he would be able to cut Obito in half once he tries to combo him. It would be instant. The death would be instant. Obito wouldn't even know what happened. Um, so that's like Obito's like huge weakness, and the crazy thing is that Obito's greatest attack is his Conway attack. So when your greatest attack is your greatest weakness, I really don't think there's a way you can win. But that's their tech. Let's go over their durability, and then I'll give my final thoughts on this battle and how I think it would go down. So as far as durability goes, when we look at Darth Vader is very basic, and this is gonna go really quick. This section, Darth Vader's biggest weakness as a character is his need to use his suit. Now, there was a part in the book where, in one of the books, where Darth Vader got his suit shut down, but he was basically just immobile, I believe. I don't use the Force to basically, will himself to where he could move his mechanical body even without it being on, and then he was able to kill Silo, basically turn his body, his suit back on. But in the case of his weakness, Darth Vader's weakness, as we saw during the run, he got very lucky because he got attacked by one of those cybernetically enhanced like Jedi type fighters, but he got hit in the back instead of the front. Had he gotten hit in the front and his machine, that front control panel had gotten damaged, he would have died just like he did in Return of the Jedi because he needs his suit in order to live. And this is Darth Vader's biggest weakness. So as far as a way like a win condition can go, and before we talk about that, we do need to recognize that he did survive like a plane crash during this run, and with his lightsaber, it was able to basically taint and send back a blast that could destroy a taint or that came from a taint. I think it was enough to destroy a taint or something like that. So his durability with his lightsaber itself, what it can handle, the type of force of blast that it can handle, and just damage is ridiculous. Because the force of blast was enough to destroy a taint, I believe, or it was the power of a taint, and that's just crazy. So we're not talking about a regular taint. We're talking about a Star Wars taint, and you can see what a blaster can do. A taint should be ridiculous. So yeah. So going back to what I was saying with the control panel, that's a win condition. We saw it in Return of the Jedi. Even though we're using the comic book series, the comic book series still follows what happens in the movies. Because the movies are always going to be the main canon, and Darth Vader died because his control panel got messed up and got destroyed basically when he threw Sidious down the shaft basically. So if Obito were to damage that, the game would be over and Darth Vader would die. So there is a win condition, but you have to believe that Obito is going to hit that control panel. But before we give our final thoughts, let's go over Obito's durability. As far as Obito goes, Obito is able to tank a lot. Like Obito's not a joke. He was able to take a full-on hit of a Rasengan to the face, and like it didn't take his head off, which is crazy because it's said that like Rasengans, I think like giant Rasengans can like carve mountains or something like that. So I mean, the little Rasengan, regular size Rasengan should still be ridiculous because even scaling that down to like maybe 10%, 5%, maybe even 1% should still do massive damage to take your head off. So Obito does have some good durability. He was also able to taint a Rasengan to the shoulder, and it didn't even like make his arm where he couldn't use it. He basically just took off and he ripped off part of his like cloak or something like that. The thing he wears, that Uchiha like cloak thing he wears. He even took a headbutt from QB Naruto, and still just like basically tainted and was like fine. Obito did take massive hits once they figured out how Conway worked, and having Kakashi in the Conway dimension with him. And Naruto hitting him from the outside, and then Kakashi hitting him once he was sending his Conway body into the Conway dimension, and he was getting hit there because in the Conway dimension he was solid because of Kakashi being in there and able to counter his ability to go solid, and then phasing because it kind of like goes from the real world to the Conway dimension. It's pretty cool, but that's a weakness if you're able to capitalize on it. The only reason they had to do that again is because they could not outblitz Obito, and in the case of Darth Vader, he would be able to outblitz him. So this isn't really relevant, but I thought I would mention it because it is important for Obito's durability, because he did take some damage from these attacks, and these are regular attacks. Obito even states that had Kakashi used his Raikiri, he would have killed him. He could have killed him, and Obito had like no doubt when he said that. So I believe Obito was telling the truth. And in the case of Darth Vader, a lightsaber is going to cut him in half. It's going to kill him instantly. So that's crazy, if that were to happen. But yeah, that was basically Obito's durability. I do want to state that I'm not putting Obito's durability feats after he leaves the Tendoshin Turkey state, because it is implied that once you get Sage power, that it kind of like sticks to you a little bit. It makes you more durable and things that you can survive. So I don't want to put that in there because that's not really fair. Considering I'm using the Obito without the mask before it becomes Tendoshin Turkey. So any amps he gets, even after he is not the Tendoshin Turkey anymore, just doesn't seem fair, because that would be feats that aren't have nothing to do with a base Obito. And maybe if this video does well, I will do a Tendoshin Turkey Obito and kind of like give my thoughts on how he would do against Vader, or maybe another Star Wars character. If you are interested in that. Maybe I'll do some more Star Wars characters. I do want to do Darth Vader first, and yeah. Overall, I think Darth Vader in his 2015 2016 run, comic book run, would defeat Obito 100%. I think Obito's ability, his Kamui ability, is a very tricky one when you're putting him up against a lot of characters that don't have time space manipulation or a way to get out of his Kamui dimension. That's mainly what makes Obito a broken character in Naruto, and is that he has his phasing ability that a lot of people cannot outblitz, so it becomes almost unstoppable if you don't figure it out and are able to counter it, right? And then, Obito himself, the Conway being, where you can't get out of it as well if you don't have, specific means to get out of his Conway dimension through space time manipulation and stuff like that, those type of things. So, but in the case of Darth Vader, there would be no way he would ever be caught and in Conway's dimension because anytime Obito would try to do that, he would literally get one shotted by a lightsaber. And it's kind of crazy because when I think about this battle, I think of the lightsaber being really the only thing Darth Vader really needs to kill Obito. I'm not looking at the Force or anything else because I don't think they're even factors in this fight. Darth Vader is a very powerful character. There's a reason why in the Star Wars universe, Darth Vader is respected, and he's really hyped up by a lot of characters because he really is that hyped. He's very strong. The same thing goes for Darth Sidious and people like that. Those type of Sith masters, they're supposed to be ridiculously overpowered and stuff. And that's gonna be it, guys. So my verdict is I think that Darth Vader would beat Obito Uchiha, and I think that it would be maybe mid diff, maybe easy fight for Darth Vader. But that's my opinion. Leave a comment down below who you think would win that this battle. And do you think Obito has a way to beat Darth Vader? As always, always recommend you check the comments down below, and that you comment below any way that you believe that the other person that I don't think would win would beat the character I think would win. So I do like to hear different arguments for why characters should win a battle, because sometimes we don't think of every possibility, and I always like hearing people's thoughts on ways they can think of a character beating another character, because one person is not going to think of everything, and my opinion is not the authority on everyone. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion on this battle and have different feats and skills and stuff like that on what they want to bring to the table. So be sure to comment down below what your thoughts are, and if you think Obito could be Darth Vader. Do you think this versus battle is correct, and that you have Darth Vader winning against Obito? And be sure to let me know if you would like to see Darth Vader, his other iterations in modern canon. Is I'm gonna start reading his 2016 to 2017 run, if you want me to put him, that version, against like Tintel's Jinchuriki Obito or another Naruto character, comment down below, let me know. But until next time, guys, be sure if you want to ensure more videos faster, you can donate to the channel at the cash app down below. Also, subscribe to the channel for more versus battles in the future. Right now, we're focusing on comic book versus Naruto's universe. We already have, I believe, 3 videos out on the channel, being New 52 Batman versus Itachi Uchiha, Doomsday versus the Akatsuki, Jason Aaron Thor versus Kakashi from Naruto. So this is the 4th video in the series. We're going to continue making these videos. I really enjoy making versus videos with the Naruto universe and comic universe. It's really fun putting these two things, or multiple things on one side and the Naruto verse on the other, against each other. Is very fun to me. And if you're new to the channel, my main thing on the channel is I review trade paperback slash volume reviews. We're going to be jumping into the John Romita senior era of Spider-Man comics. Those videos are coming out probably next 2 or 3 days. And yeah, it's going to be amazing going through that run on the channel. So if you're a fan of my other type of videos, we're getting into that in the next 3 to 4 days. As I have to read the material and make the videos and edit them and all that. But yeah, until next video, guys, God bless you. Until next lesson, keep on reading those comments.